Good morning, Lightworkers Lab. Hello, hello. Let me move. I swear, I get up early and I do my makeup and all this other good stuff, and then I come in here and it's crazy lighting. How are you? I'm setting up my sage. Today's gonna be a fun day of crystals, and then I hope to end on some reading. So please come in as I just light up some sage. Hi, Julie. Thank you for joining us this morning. I just called in all of our teams and all of our guides, so it's kind of like, it's getting crowded in here. Hello and happy Wednesday. So this week, oh, I forgot to introduce myself. Silly me. Hi, I am Amber Poole. I'm also known as the Chakra Diva. I'm an energy healer as well as a crystal therapist. I do past life regressions. I do Akashic record readings. My main ability is being a healer. So as I am healing people and looking at reading their chakras, that's how information comes up. And then the avenue that we choose to work through, that's where we go, if that makes sense. So if I'm working in mediumship and you have a broken heart, but you want to hear from your loved one, I do that. If you want to look at a past life and see how things are coming over in the karmic world, I look at that. So I do a variety of things. Hi, Michelle. Good morning, guy. Oh, yeah. Isn't that a cool one? Oh, the shamanic journey lesson. Fantastic. Oh, good. I didn't get any feedback off of that. I had a lot of people who ordered and I didn't get anything, so thank you so much for mentioning that. I'm going to start off by pulling a crystal card for the group. Today we're going to talk about, honestly, I found out that we're working on the clairs this month, and I pulled out my favorite crystals to do some work on. So I get to talk crystals today, and that's my jam. Ooh, I love that one. All right, so here is the card. Thank you so much. Here is, so the group is on Aquamarine today, which is work. Yes, I don't know who needs this, but the mermaids just came in. So Aquamarine works with the mermaids in general, and it's fantastic for like creatures under the water. So if you think about your dolphins and your whales, they like aquamarine as well, but it's for communication, open up, speaking your truth, which is so funny because that's what, I'm doing right now. I'm communicating. And the other one that came out was the rites of passage. And that's interesting to me. That's probably for me. That was the first one that came out. Just because I do a lot of shamanic work, I have to have, there's like certain passages that you go through, and it's kind of like an initiation kind of thing. Like for kids who are going into adulthood, you would do a ceremony. If you found out that somebody had a certain gift, you would do a ceremony. I transition people over in hospice. I do certain ceremonies. So that's actually a really, really good card for me. That was the first one that came out, and then this one was the communication. So in the lab for this month, we're learning all about our clairs, and I'm sure that you're going to have incredible people talk to you about how to open up different abilities. But what I've done in my 8 years of readings is that everything starts on the energetic field first. So that means that the energy around us can be influenced before it actually manifests into the physical world. And we do that by working with the chakras. So let's say you're working on clairaudience, which is speaking, hearing, right? When you hear people talk to you, a lot of times that goes with the mental thoughts in your head. I always say your thoughts are not really your thoughts. They're probably something else's, which is so true. Once you start analyzing your thoughts, you're like, oh my goodness, that is so true. You know what? That thought that I just had was probably your thought. Telepathy, like picking it up through there. But a lot of times it's also the spirit's energy that's coming through. So that's really cool. All right, so if you're working on opening up a clair, I highly recommend on working with that chakra. So a lot of times we will go in and do an exercise let's say you're working on clairvoyance and you really want to tap into seeing other dimensions, you know, clairvoyantly, or maybe people around you, or you really wanted to see spirits. A lot of times it's recommended to open up your clairvoyance by starting to pay attention to detail. Things in this physical present world right now you can do that will expand your psychic abilities. So when I was really concentrating on working with opening up my clairvoyance more, I would go down to the detail. I could say, what kind of car is in front of me, what color car, what does their license plate say, who is in it, the person, what they look like in it, so that it would come in as a flash. Okay, so here, if I'm trying to get messages or see different messages, I have to practice in this physical world. So I would say the car in front of me is white. I didn't know any of my cars at that time. Now I'm like, that's a Camry. I got it. That's a Ford. So I've gotten a lot better. So I would say the color of the car. We don't notice this stuff, right? A lot of people go around, and I always talk about like having the tunnel. You're walking from A to B and you're just trying to get to the next location. But we don't pay attention to all the details around us. So once we start paying attention and calling out the details, that's how it's going to influence and open up our clairvoyance. So I specifically say, there's a white car in front of me with the license plate. I memorize the license plate. And that person is a man. He has brown hair. He puts a hat on. He has little whiskers on the side and a mustache. So the more detailed I am in my physical everyday world, the easier it is for spirit to communicate with me. So when I am in session, all of a sudden these symbols and like I get pictures of things around me just come in. So, and a lot of times it's really neat because I didn't even have that dictionary. Like I wasn't aware of that dictionary word. So last night in session, I saw barbed wire. And I went, that's really interesting. I didn't have that in my, quote, symbolism dictionary before I did my session. So I had to look up, what does barbed wire mean? And it's for courage and for strength, and it was inside her heart chakra. So a lot of times I knew it was barbed wire because I have that mental image is somewhere in my dictionary of me saying, hey, this is what it looks like. Spirit goes in and pulls it out and then drops it in front of me. So that's one way to open up specifically your clairvoyance, because a lot of people, they want to see into different dimensions and see what else is going on. In addition to doing the assignments that you are given from everywhere out there, you might Google, how do I open up my clairaudience, or how do I know if I'm an empath, those kind of things. Today I really want you to work with your energy field. So again, energy is all around us. It's on the outside of us before it comes in and manifests into the physical world. The more you work on the outside of your energy, and bring it in, like intentionally bring it in, then you can expand your abilities easier. It's like manifestation, okay? As soon as you say something to the universe, you're making a deal with the universe. Doesn't matter if you mean to make that deal or not. So be very cautious and aware of the things that you are saying, because it's like a deal. It's like a contract. As soon as you say it, it's going to happen. So if I said, I want to open up my clairaudience more, I'm making a deal with the universe by setting the intention to open up my clairaudience, and then I'm going to work with the energetic field first. I'm going to do the exercises of listening to my thoughts, being aware, is that my thoughts or is that someone else's thoughts? Where did that thought come in from? And I start to really analyze where I'm getting this information from in the logical world, because it's not all going to be my information. But I also need to work with the energy field. So to do that, you're going to work with your chakras. And this is where crystals come in. Crystals are fantastic because they work. I'm just going to pick one of them up. They work with the vibration of resonance, meaning This guy right here has a specific vibration, and when I take the vibration of this crystal and I place it into my aura starts to change, and the crystal is manipulating it to the frequency of this crystal. And because the crystal is a higher vibration than what I am right now, it feels really good with me. So let's take, for example, when you are out with other people in a group of friends, they may not be high vibrational. Let's be honest. There's some people that you're around and you're like, ooh, right? But you are constantly exchanging information. So when I'm giving a session, I'm looking for energy cords, and I will say, who is so-and-so? And they'll say, oh, that's my coworker, but we don't really talk. You have an energy cord just by association with them, just by communication with them. The same thing is true for a crystal. When you put that crystal into your field, your aura is going to change. So when you are with a person on the outside, right, and you're talking to them, it's going to change as well. Sorry, I just read some things. Okay, it's going to change as well. So working with your energy field first is crucial to help assist in manifesting the things that you want through your abilities, okay? So I went around my room and I just pulled out some of my crystals that I use here at work in session, and I found out I pretty much have the same theme. I was like, oh, I can pick out crystals of all different types and do all different things, and really, I apparently only do specific work in this room all the time. Before we get started, I want to show you my charging station. Crystals love to be charged, and they have to have that amplified energy with them. So I have a crystal charging station in my room. Let me change it. Okay, so you will notice here that I have my fountain. Your water fountain, first of all, it brings spirit into the room. Energy through water is very high vibrational. Then I use clear quartz, number one, to clear my crystals, but also, also to really get the charge going and making it high vibrational. The aura of my fountain is a beautiful purple, like it's a very, very high vibrational purple. And then I also use sound, so you can see my little sound bowl. I can't do it too loud. Oh, it's against the wall. Okay. Anyhow, we have the sound bowl. The sound will always clear out the crystals, and then I just leave little randoms around here. In addition, let me move up. Whoop. If you go over here, excuse me, that's my other charging station. So anything in a pyramid, I open up this and I can put my crystals in there and it charges as well. So that is how, let me flip it over. Okay, whoops, sorry. That's how I charge my crystals up. You have to make sure that your crystals are cleared of energy before you use them. You can use sage, you can use the sound, you can use water to cleanse and clear them up. And then after that, you want to actually physically place them on you. So, oh, is everybody okay? Can you guys see me? Okay, Diane says hi. All right, good. So you always want to cleanse and clear your crystals prior to using them. Sometimes I put them outside, like that plant that I just walked into. That's really good for earth energy, so I will put crystals in there at the bottom so that it's charged. And then after that, you want to physically place them on you. So if I'm going to work on my clairaudience, then I'm going to place it on my throat. If I'm going to work on my clairsentience, which is feeling, I'm going to place it on my sacral. If I'm going to use my clairvoyance, then I'm going to place it on my third eye. If I'm going to do claircognitives, gosh, I hate saying that word. You know when spirit just drops all that stuff in your head? The information just comes piling in. Then you're going to put it up in your crown chakra. So make sure, like if you're doing a meditation, you want to place it on you. The other thing is that I carry one of these little bags. They're like little shaman bags, and you can put your crystals in there with your intention, and then you place it on, and it actually comes down really low on me, so I put it underneath my shirt and nobody knows that I'm wearing it, except if you have a tight shirt. Might want to watch out. You don't want to have bulges all around you. Like random rock bulges coming out. Or you can place it in your pocket and carry them on you as well. So let's get into some of my favorite crystals to use, which are just great for amplifying the energy, but not only amplifying, you are intentionally drawing that energy into you, okay? Every minute of the day, you are using intention to manifest things, and you may not even be aware of all the stuff that you're manifesting. Every thought, every word that you say is a manifestation, so be very cautious with that information. So again, I was grabbing my crystals. You guys will notice a theme of what my job does and what I work on constantly, so I apologize for that. I didn't realize that that's what I have, but that's okay. The first one I like to use is Spirit Quartz, and this is, you see how it has all those little, it starts with a B. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now, but they're all prickly. It looks like a cactus. Okay, it's called the Spirit Quartz, and that's really good for opening up to your spirit guides and your spirit team. You may want to put it on top of your crown chakra, and that way it opens it up, or place it in your hand as you're meditating, and you go into that sacred space so that you can talk to your spirit guides. Spirit Quartz is high vibrational. It has it's kind of like that lilac color on it, which is really, really pretty. So I like them. Okay, so that's Spirit Quartz. And then we also have Merlinite, which is awesome for, I think Kelly may have given some of this out at the Bliss Retreat. I love using this for talking to the masters, the ascending masters, and my guides, and of course, Merlin, obviously. That's why I have it. He's like my main guide, okay, all the time. Druzy, thank you, Danielle. Druzy. This is one that I've been working with a lot lately, and it's Blue Apatite. So Blue Apatite works for many different reasons. Number one, I hope and I wish it would just help me with my appetite. But number two, it helps really well with past lives. So if you are interested in looking at past lives, I would grab some Blue Apatite and sleep with it. Put it into your pillow, meditate with it. I love carrying it around. Hi, Lauren. So nice to see you. Yeah, I love, so this is like, when you go into a store, all of a sudden you will get the love for a specific crystal and you won't know why. And this guy I've had for many years, and she's been sitting there, she, I haven't decided yet. And I've just been so drawn to it. So this is the one that I use, and I've realized that it's really assisting me in looking at more past lives. So speaking of past lives, and I hope you guys watched last week's lesson on how to do that by the mirror exercise and how you can see all of your previous past lives. If you didn't, it was on the lab, I think it was 2 weeks ago, okay, past lives. I also love to use petrified wood for communication with my ancestors. And that's the majority of my work. I do ancestry, past lives, current, but you'll notice my theme here. So petrified wood is fantastic when you put it below your feet. So the Earth Star chakra works with the ancestors. So if you want to communicate with them, I like it below my feet. You can always hold it in your hand, but I find it very grounding, as well as opening up to the many, many, many ancestors that we have, okay? So if you like doing that kind of work, what else do I have? And then we have lapis lazuli. Oh, Lillian said that she tried it and she saw 4 vases. How cool is that? I love doing past life stuff. I really do. So lapis lazuli is great for getting information, of course, with the past as well. You can place this guy right on your third eye. It will help you see into different dimensions. Really good with past lives, with regression, if you guys do past life regressions, and to open up your clairvoyance a little bit more. But I really like it if I need to go somewhere. So if I want to travel and go back in time to, I don't know, the Andes and see what it's like, I'm going to use my lapis lazuli. Now, the difference between sodalite and lapis lazuli is that you will find pyrite, which is gold, within the lapis lazuli. This one's a really small piece, whereas sodalite will not have those gold flakes. So don't be confused on that one. What else do we have over here? Then we have turquoise. So this is a man-made turquoise. This is, I don't bring my, you guys are gonna find this funny. I don't bring my good crystals into work. One, I'm so selfish that I just want to keep them at my house and allow me to use them, and that's it. So I bring my grade B into work, and this guy would be my grade B. So this is, quote, turquoise. You will find it in shops as turquoise. However, it's dyed white howlite. So white howlite, and then they dye it blue, quote, equals turquoise. So this is a lot of times what they sell it, and you can tell by the color of it. It's like this high vibrational turquoise. You'll know that it's dyed. Whereas the real stuff is, you know, it's a different blue. It's a different shade of blue, and it's really authentic looking. I'll have to bring in my piece so that you guys can see the difference. I like the vibration of it, so I use it. But it's my grade B, and it's my grade B. Grade B. All right, the other one that I have is moonlight. Moonlight is awesome for opening up your intuition in general. So you want to place moonlight on your sacral, or you can sleep with it. It's excellent for dreams. So if you want to look into, some people have very, very vivid dreams. I don't. It's very rare that I do. But you can use it to step into the worlds through your dreams, and you can also be safe and protected. So moonlight. There's also rainbow moonlight, which is white with like little specks of black in it, and when you hold it up to the light, you can see the rainbow in it. It's so gorgeous. It's beautiful. So you can sleep with that underneath your pillow as well. Yes, moonstone. So this is regular moonstone, and they come in different colors, but there's also rainbow moonstone, and it's rainbow moonstone I prefer over regular moonstone, just because I like the rainbows. So Moldavite is really good for high vibrational extraterrestrial out of this world experiences. So while we're talking about astral traveling, this is so much fun. I have a necklace, and I almost wore it today and I didn't. It has apophyllite on it, Moldavite is on it, as well as tektite. And those are all high vibrational stones that are out of this world to help you connect in with other beings in different dimensions, quote, out of this world, okay? My favorite for astral travel, I do have it. Oh, astral travel, that's what I do a lot at my house. So there's a piece that I have that's clear calcite, is fantastic for astral travel. Iolite is fantastic. It's purple. Those two are at my house. The other one that I like for, oh my goodness, is blue calcite. So blue calcite is so soothing and relaxing and fantastic that it will put you into that state that you can astral travel as well, okay? So if you can find blue calcite, and normally, I'm sure, I love this stuff. Here it is. It may look like this in general. That's what it normally looks like if you buy it in the smaller pieces. I like putting this one by my floor, actually, or communication. Sometimes I use this one in my house for communication with other people in my house, my kids. And I also like to just hold it and travel and just really experience it. Sometimes I do hug it, but it's one of my favorites as well. All right. So we went through the astral travel. If you want to talk to the angels, of course, angel light is fantastic. But I also like celestite, so that's very high vibrational as well. Okay. Let's see. Amethyst, let's not overlook amethyst. Amethyst on the third eye is very soothing, very opening. It's a safe crystal, meaning as you travel, you will be safe in the world. So what happens in the other dimensions, like sometimes when I travel, I like to carry labradorite with me. I don't know if I have a piece. I do. I like to carry labradorite with me. This is a small piece, but it's not a very good piece for the camera, is it? Okay, so labradorite and selenite. Selenite is so high vibrational. Number one, I use selenite all the time, but if you're using, like say you put selenite in your left hand, a labradorite in your right hand, and then you put your crystal of choice on top of one of your chakras, you're going to be, quote, open, because the selenite brings high vibrational beings into it, protected from the labradorite, and then your intention would be that crystal that is on one of your chakras, okay? Here's my selenite. That's the selenite I always use. So I might put this, it depends. It depends on this. This selenite's amazing because I will put it on my chakras if I need to draw out something from my chakras before I go in with the intention to, you always want to clear out your chakras before you put in energy. So if I want to really work on my throat chakra, I may put on selenite over here so I clear out my chakra, and then I will go back and put my whatever crystal I'm working with on my chakra to really open it. It's kind of like in general on your chakras, you are cleansing and clearing out the energy, and then you put in the white light, right? So we cleanse and clear and balance our chakras by clearing it all out, and then we add in the light. Same thing for crystals. You might want to clear out your chakras first. Do a 10-minute chakra meditation. I like to use, obviously, the selenite on anything that I feel is blocked, or if there's too much energy in it, and then I will go back a few seconds later and I'll place my crystal there. Okay, so just a little bit of tidbit information. And the other one I have is amber. So this is a small piece of amber, which is really good for empaths, and it's really good for people who feel other people's emotions or want to experience that. I know that in this group, we have a lot of empaths where we are constantly feeling other people's emotions. And I think somebody said, what's the benefit of it? And it depends. When you're looking at it subjectively and objectively, right? And you're looking at it from a personal experience of how am I connecting in, and then you can also disconnect and look at how the energy is flowing around too. So sometimes we don't know what our feelings really are. We just know that we're feeling. So we might feel mad, sad, happy, and that's about it. But there's so many other emotions in between that. You know, there's feeling alone or loneliness. And there's also feeling like you're deserted or there's nobody there or abandoned. They're two different energies. So I love to use the amber stone to help me clarify and get to know and understand exactly what my emotions are so that I can connect in with them with my clients. When I'm scanning my client, that's usually what comes up first. I literally feel an emotion coming up to the surface and I name it and I call it out. So last night for the session, she felt scared. And I said, what does scared mean? What is that? We have to dive in deeper to that. So it's kind of like this, like if you're reading energy, once you start to read energy and understand energy, you get deeper and deeper into it. I'm scared because of this, and it goes down and goes down until you get to the root of what the energy blockage is. So I like to really call out the emotions, find the emotions, name the emotions, and in order to do that, I had to work with Amber because I do not have, that's not my strongest skill. Feeling other people's emotions are not my strongest skill. I have the wonderful information just pops into my head and I can say it and call it out. I have that awareness that I know when beings and people are next to me. I feel them on the outside, but I don't actually emotionally resonate with everybody around me. I don't have that ability. So, oh, thank you, Katie. So, technically, amber's not a crystal. I should probably mention that. It's a tree resin, just like in Jurassic Park. So if you're Googling pieces of amber, it might come up that way. And there's different kinds. There's like, is it the Baltic Sea has amber? That's probably the most popular one that you'll find. And the Mexican amber are two different, like they look two different colors and two different shades. I like them both. I have them both. probably because my name's Amber and I think it's amazing. Just kidding. But anyhow, that's one of my other ones. Then we also have the amazing epiphyllite. So epiphyllite I have, and sometimes people call it apophyllite, that's fine. I call it epiphyllite because that's what registers in my head. But this guy, you can't really see it. It's like a triangular, how they grow, like a, this is my other one. This is my pendulum, obviously, which is full of it. I love it, love it. Here's another one. So this is for like reducing stress, but also I love it for going to different dimensions and different planes. So this guy will help me get in, especially when I'm doing like shamanic journeying and I really want to just visit other places. I will hold it in my hand. Number one, it's going to eliminate all my debris around me. So if there's something negative, something like low vibrational, I hold it in my hand. This baby makes me shake. Like literally my energy starts going back and forth and I can see it and feel it clearing me out. This is probably one of my favorite, selenite, epiphyllite, clear quartz, all my favorites. So I'll hold it onto it as I'm traveling in, and they take you to different dimensions. So if you ever do like shamanic journeying, you can go to literally different dimensions, but the same dimensions I see, you will be able to see. So that's the most fascinating thing to me. I went up there, I went up the tree, which is how we do shamanic journeying. You step through the dimension. There was a guy there who took me to a crystal castle. And I thought, this is so amazing, this whole entire crystal castle. I've never been in there. Anyhow, I got inside it. It took me down into a little cave, and there's a crystal healing cave. So I thought this was just for me, and I wrote all about it. And then I met another online person who talks about shamanic journeying, and she was talking about her crystal castle. And I was like, no, I went into a crystal castle. And as we started to communicate back and forth, we realized that we were in the same dimension. So there's all these different like realms and dimensions and different things. So I like to use this guy to help assist me traveling into each one. Just remember that you have to come home and come back here when you're done. So you might want to have a grounding crystal by you or near you. My favorite grounding crystals. What do I use to ground? Do I ground? Rainbow obsidian. Let me show you that one. So if you go on a, of course we can always use black tourmaline. I mean, black tourmaline is great for releasing negative things around you. Hematite is extremely grounding. If you are a person who is always up in a different dimension, hold on, I just lost all my conversation with you guys. There we go. If you are a person who's always up in the clouds, or you feel like you're constantly leaving your body, hematite will throw you into the physical body really quick. After my sessions, I give my client a hematite crystal because it does ground them instantly. Whereas for me, as the healer who is doing the whole entire session for the hour, I'm usually pretty up in the air, and sometimes I ask the same questions, not realizing that I ask the same questions. So like if I hear a name of Danny and I'm down by your feet, and then I get up to your heart chakra and Danny comes in again, but I've already asked you who Danny is, and you say I don't know, then we have to go into it, and I have to go, okay, are you on the other side? Are you an energy cord? Are you an ancestor? And I have to start you know, going through the whole entire line. So I'm pretty airy, that's the word I'm going to use, by the time my session is finished. So I like to use rainbow obsidian. I don't know if you guys can see the rainbow on that. Rainbow obsidian is fantastic for grounding me. So it takes my spirit and puts it back into the body gently. Hematite is so heavy, so I don't want to have something that throws me in automatically. When I'm with my client, I always ground them at the end of the session. So as I'm grounding them, they're already coming back into their body. I had one day who a lady jumped off she didn't jump off, but she sat up on my bed, and then she got off, and she got so lightheaded that she almost passed out. And from there, I went, you cannot get off my bed. You guys can sit up, but do not get up until you are grounded. So I give them the hematite to hold. I ask them just to sit up until they come back into their body, and I hold my rainbow obsidian, and I give them a conversation. How are you doing? Do you need some water? So I'm putting myself back in, and they're putting their self back in before we sit down and we do cards. So that's the other thing that I add on to it. Yay, thank you. So that's rainbow obsidian to help you gently come back into your body. Hematite's more harsh. It's like instant throw you into your body. And then we also have smoky quartz. So smoky quartz takes away the negativity, anything that's being absorbed, and you can also slip back into your body that way. But my two preferred are hematite and snowflake obsidian. Amazonite, yes, I do Amazonite. I do use Amazonite. So Amazonite I use for finding your life purpose. I know that everybody uses different crystals for different things, and they have tons of meanings for your physical, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual, but I use it when I'm trying to open up heart chakra and find what their true purpose is. So this is Amazonite, just in case nobody has heard of it or wanted it. So if I want to talk to the person's soul and find out their gifts and what they like to do, oops, and what they're good at or talented at, or what they aligning themselves to their highest purpose, and then I'm going to use some Amazonite right on their heart chakra. So I think I went through all of the ones for you're opening up your clairs, okay? Remember that the energy is on the outside first before it manifests into the physical body. So you will want to put them into your energy field as you are practicing methods to open up your clairs. If we're going to work on clair audience, you're looking for your hearing. So start getting very quiet. It's in the present moment that you can open up all of your clairs. Get very quiet and start naming all of the sounds that you hear. When I drive, I'm constantly registering and listening to the thoughts in my head. Are they mine or are they someone else's? 90% of the time, they're not mine. I don't think I really think. I really don't, because I'm like, oh, who was that? Who said that? And I'm constantly like registering through what's mine versus someone else's. But if you start listening to the sounds around you, you will open up your clairaudience. If you want to open up your clairvoyance, then you want to really pay attention to the details around you. I like to draw it out. So last night again in session, I'm only mentioning this one because it's fresh on my head. As I'm working with her, I felt the presence of a person stand next to me. Then I tuned into her. I saw that she had black hair and that she used the aqua net, and she like really hairsprayed her hair like and then I went into feeling again. So I felt that she was grandma. So I asked my client, does your grandmother have black hair? And she sprays like hairsprays the whole entire thing. And she says, oh yes, she does. And I said, oh my goodness, she just slipped on a red dress. If I didn't have these things in my account, my bank account up here, my memory account up here, then Spirit would have a harder time showing me these symbols. So as she put on this red dress, it kind of reminded me of Betty Boop. And my client, she started laughing, and she said, yes, Amber, that's exactly what happened. She's a real pip was the word that she used. So you want to start opening them up in the physical realm, in the physical here, and working with the energy around you in order to accelerate your spiritual gifts. Julie says, and it's not like I don't have a ton of crystals. I just don't know what I have. I have a trillion crystals. Like I have crystals, and sometimes I find them and I go, what was its purpose again? Because you start to really, when you work with crystals, you will get down exactly what that crystal is for. You know, it'll tell you where it wants to be placed at on your body. Not all crystals, like we were just talking about the Amazonite, yes, they have a physical, emotional, spiritual, mental abilities, right? Attributes to it. But this one specifically helps me with opening up the heart chakra to be attuned to the higher self. Whereas I might have another Amazonite, a different shape, a different kind, that when I hold it, I will recognize that it's for something else. So if you go into the crystal store, set the intention that you want to open up whatever clair you want to open up. Yes, so hand chakras, sorry, I'm talking to guides. Hand chakras are fantastic. You want to use a clear quartz crystal to open them up. Okay, random, but it's clear quartz. And you want to start moving it around in circles in order to open up and start sensitizing your hand chakras, okay? So you will want to do that as well. Do you guys see my aura around my hand? It's so pretty. Hold on, let me do that again. All right, can you see it? You stare at my hand. What color do you see? It's actually from the crystal. All right, I don't know if you guys can see that. I see color all the time, but that just looked really pretty. So if you want to get to know your hand chakras, you're going to use the clear quartz to open it up with the point, okay? Again, with the feeling, I would go with amber. Carnelian's okay, but it's not my favorite for opening up the psychic ability of feeling and empath energy. So that is it. I hope you got a whole entire, Wendy says green. If you can, let me see. It's actually not my hand, it's the crystal, if I can get the angle of it. It's the crystal that's doing it because the aura of the crystal is so beautiful and so bright right now. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hi, Tiffany. It's purple. So can you guys see like a tint of purple running through it? At all? Or is it just me? Could be just me. Lavender. Yeah, it's like this beautiful, it's a beautiful purple, but I think it's because it sits in my fountain, and my fountain, like when I'm in session, all of a sudden it's beautiful. It's so like purple everywhere, all around it. So I think all my crystals turn into that. 2 lavenders. I love it. Yeah, it's really neat. There's a difference between when you charge your crystals and when you don't. And when you don't charge your crystals, sometimes you're not attracted to them. Sometimes they feel dull to you. So when you pick it up, it might feel really blah. I would charge them up. I have one crystal. Look, I carry around this crystal. Let me find it. I carry around this crystal. I'm probably for a year now, and this baby will not charge. It might be in my car. Hold on. It won't charge. I picked it up. The person, it is in my car. I'm pretty sure it is. Anyhow, the person, I take it with me everywhere. Sold it to me. It's like the most prettiest crystal you can ever see. It's a big, it's not in here. It's a big, what's it called? An amethyst with a point, and it has a rainbow that comes through the point. And every time I go to use it, it's like, no. I have tried charging it in the earth. I've tried charging it with water. It does not have a flow to it at all. And then I went to transition somebody over at hospice, and the crystal finally called out to me after all of this time and was like, take me with you. And I thought, how cool is that? It's a crystal to help people cross the Rainbow Bridge. So cool. So now I'm like, I like that one too. Now I'm obsessed with it, and I want to take it with me everywhere because I know its purpose. So I do. Oh, I have a beautiful Shiva. Oh my goodness. I have a Shiva that's like literally this big. And it's really good for balancing feminine and masculine energy, as well as working on relationships. It's at my house because that's where all the grade A crystals are, but I might throw up a picture of it later. So can all crystals be charged by a fountain? No. So on the Morse scale, this is the best way to do it. Everyone has a different softness or hardness to it. If you take your, quartz is the hardest. You can put quartz into the water anytime. Amethyst, citrine, where am I drawing blank? Citrine, amethyst, come on, quartz. What else? Rose quartz, green aventurine you can put in there. Those are really good for water. But like calcite is very soft, and although it looks hard, if I took my nail and I started to, rub against it, it can start to crumble or break off. So you can't do that one. You can't do selenite. Selenite's very soft. So I would look at the Morse scale if you're really curious. And if it's like a 5.5 and up, then it's going to be on the harder edge of it, harder stone of it. And if it's lower than that, it's going to be soft and it'll break apart. Sound is fantastic for stones. Sage is really good for stones. Unless you have asthma, you can't use sage. Moonlight will not hurt your crystals. The sunlight will. So the sunlight, you're spending all this money for like amethyst, dark colored amethyst, and if you put it into the sun, then it will start to fade the color. And you don't want that, obviously. You want to have that dark, beautiful amethyst. So the moonlight is the best way to charge them. But citrine loves the sun. You can put citrine out by the sun for a few hours. Carnelian loves the sun. Rose quartz will fade into a clear quartz, so be cautious about that unless it's like true, authentic rose quartz. So here's the difference. You know where true, authentic rose quartz is like this murky, hold on. Oh, that's it right there. See, I got that out of the water. You know, when you're kayaking, and that was already in the water. So that was a good one for that one. Oh, here's a small Shiva. That's the Shiva. Sorry, it has salt all over it. Shiva on there. That's the other thing you can do. Here, look. Let me switch. This is a bowl that I made, and see the salt underneath it? If I'm in like a quick session, and let me see if I have the other stuff. All right, so if I'm in a quick session and I'm trying to cleanse up, I see, you know, people back to back, so I'll just throw my crystals into the salt to have them there. You can also put them on selenite, and just put little pieces on top of a piece of selenite. That helps them cleanse. There's my big one. That's what I use. And there we go. And finally we have, you know, spray. This is from Kelly. Kelly bought this for me. Last time I was at Bliss Retreat, I think it was 2 years ago, and I love it. I still use it. I only use it when I really need it because I don't want to waste it. So clearing spray helps as well. So can you use sage to charge a crystal? So no, it helps you clear a crystal. If you also want to charge it, you can use your hands. You emit so much beautiful energy from your body. So if you take your crown chakra and you open it and you visualize all that energy coming down through your hand, you can put your crystal in your hand, and you can actually charge it up, and you will start to feel the charge of it. So it will radiate out. It will feel heavy and dense. That's when you know you have an awesome crystal, when you can feel the charge of it and you're holding it and you're like, holy cow, that feels so good. So that's the easy way to charge it as well. All right, I'm going up through the feed and seeing if I missed anything. I see bluish purple. Oh, you guys were talking about the aura of the crystals. That's the other cool thing. All crystals have an aura. So you can practice using your clairvoyance by checking out the aura of the crystal. I like to use something big and not something small, because something small has a small aura around it normally, unless, I mean, that's not for everything. Like moldavite actually has a larger aura because it's so powerful. But I would take something like, if you have a large crystal, so take the celestite, and you might want to hold it up and then check out the aura around that. Big crystals in general have big auras around them. That's easier to see than if you had like a small tumbled stone of that guy. I would be staring at it forever. So you want to put it against a black wall or a white wall in order to see it better. I love it when my clients wear all black, because I'm seeing, that's why I wear black a lot. I can see the colors going across it and what they're doing and where the tears are in their aura, if they have holes, if they have, you know, like daggers and a whole bunch of stuff. So let me see. I often use my wooden healing pendulum for, I think you're going to say, charging. And that's how I check my crystals. How do you know when your crystals are fully done and immersed? Sometimes I use my pendulum and I'll just say, are you done charging? Do you want more time? Do you need to be here longer? And as soon as I get the okay, that's when it comes out. My favorite way to charge is through my pendulum, my pyramid charging station where I put the crystals in, because one, it has a mirror on the bottom of it, so it amplifies the energy up. Number two, it's in a pyramid, so that's extremely powerful and healing in its own right. So I keep it in there, usually along with a selenite tower. Selenite never needs to be cleansed or cleared. Selenite is amazing, amazing stuff. So that's why you can see I have my, wait a minute, let me flip you around one more time. Can you, see, my selenite tower is right next to my pyramid in general. And then down here, I have more crystals inside my, this is like a crystal cave in here. I've never noticed it. I'm like, oh, I never knew how much I actually work and do things for my crystals. I love them. They're my favorite. So, oh my goodness, Katie, you're so funny. I love it. You're so, so funny. All right, let me check the time. We are at 10:51, so I have some time to do readings, as I would like to do. I brought my crystal reading cards today. That's what I thought we could use. And I'm gonna look up your chakras, making sure that everything is good. If you would like to have a reading, just let me know, pop it in the comments below. If you have a question about crystals, let me know that too. I'm just gonna get a bowl and clear off my table from the crystals, and just give me 1 second. The journeying, okay, so I'm telling you, go up into the upper world. That's what we call it. When you're working in like shamanic practices, there's 3 different worlds. You have the middle world, which I do not recommend you going into, the lower world, and then you also have the upper world. So when you go into the upper world, that's where you can meet your spirit guides and your team, and it's just beautiful. And it's not that the middle world is a bad world. It's not. You just need to know what you're doing before you walk into it. So let me release some of these crystals. Give me 1 second and find my bowl. I think we talked about them all. This is the other one I just bought. I bought that one the other day, and it's an agate. Obviously, it's a brown agate. Releases stress, puts you into your body, and connection with your body for healing. You can't see how pretty that is, but really, see, it's really, really pretty. Let me just help you out there. It's extremely beautiful. And the other one that I bought, this was trippy. My new baby is I think she called it a sea flower agate, epiphyllite, apophyllite, man, it's all good. And I gotta move my stuff over. I went back to the store. So the store's like 45 minutes away. I picked up this crystal. I love this crystal. Couldn't decide between both of them. But you know, I hate spending a lot of money on my crystals. I just don't like it, especially like together. And then I took it home and I was like, I looked at my daughter, I said, I got the wrong crystal. She goes, I know, you'll be back there tomorrow. So I had to go back there and get it again. So this guy is my favorite because it looks like there's a butterfly through here. And although it doesn't show up very well on the camera, I thought that was a lion's face. So his nose and his face through there. And then I also bought new cards because I can't have enough cards. And I got home and I started shuffling up these new cards. I didn't even look through them. The one card flies out and it's a picture of a lion with a butterfly on the nose. And the word was trust the universe. Manifestations are happening. So I went back to the store the next day. They opened at 10. I was there at 10 o'clock because God forbid somebody got my crystal. And I walked in there and I knew I needed it for manifestations, and I know that it's for a new beginning. So I am so excited to use this one. And usually when you're looking at, they might be called cherry agates as well. It has a bunch of, it looks like tree branches just growing all around. So that's my 2 new babies I got this week. I may have a spending habit for crystals. Maybe. Wait until you see my house. Oh my goodness, I love crystals. All right, so let's open up space and clear off my cards. I ask for my higher self to be connected with anyone who wants a reading's higher self for love and light, greatest good of all, to please enter in. I thank you so much for being here and helping guide us today. Thank you. Do we have a Robin on board? I just heard the name loud as clear as Robin. Robin. All right. Sharon says, how to clear onyx. I would use sage. Onyx is like one of the most powerful, heavy duty crystals that there is. And I would use sage. That's my guy on the onyx. And they're almost like similar, which is interesting. Oh, it's getting... I think she needs a cleaning. So very powerful, heavy duty. I also have this guy, just so awesome. If I'm trying to like really get away of attachments and things like that, entities, I'm going to bring out my onyx. Just saying. Love it. All right, let me go up. All right, Lorena says that she would love a reading. I'm looking at your photo, which helps me look at your chakras. I'm going up. Okay. So, Lorena C. That's your last name. So I want to add more energy into your sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra is on a slant, which means to me that it's not quite open and yet it's not closed, but it's also affecting in with your throat chakra. So if you are not bringing how you're feeling and telling somebody how you're feeling, the truth of how you're feeling, then it's going to offset both of those chakras. So the one chakra is your sacral. You have to actually go in and say how you are feeling, announce it. Sometimes our head likes to keep us safe, so even though we feel something, it may be different than our thoughts that are coming through, but your sacrals tell me that you need to acknowledge the emotion that you're feeling, and then when you acknowledge it, you're going to be able to express the truth of how that feels to somebody else. So that's what I get for you right away. Like, I really want to be heard, and for them to like really hear me and be understood. But I have to identify the emotion that I'm feeling in my sacral in order to express that out. Whoops. Denny. Okay. Oh, I'm not up the line. Let me go down the line and see if you said anything. All right, let's have a card, please. Let's see. All right. So, oh, Coxen night. I've never heard of it. My fountain just stopped, like completely. For new beginnings. New beginnings, okay? So even though I've never heard of that crystal doesn't mean that it's around here, that's all. So going for new beginnings, just like that butterfly, just like that lion, right, that just came through for me, new beginnings to different things. So I would spend more time in understanding your feelings, getting clear on what you want, and then manifesting those things. Okay, so much we spend a lot of time clearing out a lot of the old stuff to bring in the new stuff. I want you to get clear on what the new stuff is for you and keep going forward in that direction. So I hope that that helps for you. Okay. Robin. Didn't I say Robin? Did I say Robin earlier? Okay, is she here? Okay. Mary Ann C. Must be a C day. Mary Ann, I'm going to go up your chakras, darling. Oh my goodness, you're so sweet. So Mary Ann, I just want to jam with you in the car. Like, I really want to turn up the radio and just sit with you and box back and forth and just have a really good time. Your heart chakra is beautiful. Like, I just want to jam. Oh. All right. I love that you are here working on, I want to say, it's in your head. Your clairvoyance. I want you to really step into that. You do really well teaching too. This is two thoughts at the same time. Number one, I'm seeing working on your third eye, so I'm going to assume that that is clairvoyance. It's also working on mental thoughts. Number two, I really like you teaching, and I don't know if that's teaching with kids, teaching with students, but you have this beautiful ability to help and teach others. So I'm hoping that you are doing that. Okay, she said thank you. I hope that you're doing that because it feels fulfilling to me to help assist in other ways, but really stepping in your power and for teaching others. And I don't know the capacity of how you're going to be teaching. What do you want? What do you want? This is Will. We have Will here. All right, Marianne, let's pull her out a card. Girl Scouts, like, I love you teaching. Like, it just feels so good. And your heart chakra is awesome. She does. So one of your spirit guides, or it could be even in this dimension, you have a white dog that comes in spirit. Sometimes I see them as your spirit animal, the dog Loyal, or it's actually an animal who has crossed over. Do you know who Will is? Right. So as we're also in your heart chakra, I'm going to pull out one more for you. As we are in your heart chakra as well. Hold on, flow across the thing. Right. Emotional healing and forgiveness is what is coming up too. Emotional healing. It's William, and forgiveness is also coming up. So I want you to be aware of that energy if you feel like you need to step out. Make sure you don't do too much because they're like, you need to breathe sometimes too. Like if I had a laundry list of things to do, all of a sudden I need to catch my breath and just go, I need to breathe for a second. So forgiveness and emotional healing, I would put that up there too if you want to check that out. Okay? All right. Let me go back up. I love you connecting with others. Like, I love you connecting with others, teaching with others. Just make sure that you don't overexpend your energy. See? I am going up. Okay, I don't know how to say your name, but I want to do a reading for you. It's R-E-I-L-I. Is it Riley? Riley? Is that like a cute way to say Riley? I'm hoping. R-E-I-L-I. I want to connect with you. Oh my goodness. Ah! Are you a writer? If you haven't been writing, if you haven't been journaling, if you haven't been like a journalist, if you haven't been in the publishing, if you haven't been into marketing, I love it for you. Let me go down. Okay. But that feels so awesome. Riley, okay. I really, like, your throat chakra is like, whew, communicator. That's what I want you to like really step into. Communication is going like amazing. Yeah, like a powerhouse. Like if you're stepping into it and you're going to go out. You know how like in New York they have those publishing companies and like, you know, offices, and I see you just walking through very confidently with papers in your hand and rocking it. Love it. Let's see. I want to do some more work on your root chakra. Just to be honest with you, it's family, finances, safety, and security, just to strengthen it up a little bit more. I love you doing yoga, those kind of things. Oh, okay. You got heart healing too, although it's a different card of heart healing. I think the other one was emotional healing that we just had, and forgiveness. And this is, I can't read it backwards. Diopsite. I actually have it. I can look at it. I just saw it right before, but that one's for heart healing in general. Okay. Kyanite, blue kyanite, is really good for releasing and letting go. If you use this crystal, it's really good for aligning your chakras. So you might want to put it like on your throat chakra, on your heart chakra, to allow it to release. And the other one is to let you know that we work in cycles. So when one cycle ends, another cycle begins. I think this is where we all get messed up in our energy, is that we try so hard to make things work or push things to make sure that it's moving through when life already has its cycles. Like if we could just get into the program of the energy cycle instead of going, this is how it has to be, and instead going with the flow of things. Like I usually have 7-year cycles. And I've noticed that every 7 years, I change drastically. Like something about me will shift and change, and I'll go in a different direction. Did you know that I was an avid runner for 7 years? Oh my goodness, who would have ever thought? But that's what I did before. I was also an amazing food blogger, 7 years, and then I switched over into this world. So you want to know that the cycles, when they're over, and you need to move on, that's what we're gonna do, right? When something's over, then you say, okay, what is new? What is coming in? And put it out there on the plate that it's time, it's done. We have to release, let go. I'm gonna heal so that I can move on for the next amazing thing that is coming my way, okay? But for you, I love your throat chakra. Just sticks out to me. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, darling. Okay. Okay, Amanda M. May I have a reading, please? Amanda M. Oh, let me go up your chakras. You have a tall male next to you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Amanda. Let me go back down. Oh, you're welcome. Amanda. That's interesting. So the look good there. Okay.